Hey guys, Chad here from Take It or Leave It Reviews, here to talk to you today about a little movie called Bones and All. This movie follows Marin, a young woman who learns how to survive on the margins of society as she comes to terms with a dark secret that's been haunting her whole life. But let's get down to brass tacks, guys. I think I might have loved this movie. You know, the movie hasn't sat well with me since I saw it, because there's been this one thing that's been kind of sticking in my craw for a while now, but actually that negative is flipping on its head and turning into a positive. I'll go into a little bit more detail about that here in a little bit, but now it's on the upswing, and this movie really stayed with me, and I really enjoyed it. And with that all being said, let's get into the strengths and weaknesses of this film. First and foremost, something that I saw from the trailers, but it was definitely confirmed in the film, was that the performances were fantastic in this. Taylor Russell, who plays the main character, she really holds her own with Timothee Chalamet and Mark Rylance and a few other people who are just world-class actors, and she really holds her own, so top credit to her. On the contrary, something that I did not see coming that I absolutely loved and was pretty captivated by were the dynamics between these characters. They've got certain dynamics, certain rules, and there's this whole world building that's kind of done that was just completely unexpected, and I really love that. And there are a lot of characters in this movie, especially because it's kind of a road trip coming of age film, but the main character, she is made the focus of this film, and one thing I loved about it is we really got to know her through these expository recordings that her father made that are just kind of peppered throughout the film. So it was very efficient, very effective, and I loved that. And if you know something about this film, look, you know that there's going to be gore in this and violence. And I could see some people being a little frustrated with the lack of gore in this film, especially because it's about 2 hours long. It worked for me, but here's the thing. When the gore and the violence is on screen, it is visceral, bloody, and authentic. It is just a grisly, realistic looking scene. And not only just from a visual perspective, but the audio is, holy hell, it's so real. The sound design was phenomenal. It really put you in that room. And it was really the sound design that really disturbed me the most. And I got to tip my hat to Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They're a phenomenal team, and they really developed a beautiful and yet haunting score for this film. And the 1.85:1 aspect ratio, I think, was a really effective choice, because there's a lot of landscape shots in this, and our characters are really overwhelmed by it with this really full picture. So I think that was a great choice. That all being said, guys, I do have a couple of issues with the film, starting with the ending. I just thought that the ending was aggressively ambiguous to a fault. Look, I don't mind that they leave the interpretation up to the viewer. You know, is this last shot symbolic? Is it metaphorical? Is it real and this really happened verbatim? That's fine, but what frustrates me is, like, I don't even know if this is just a memory. Did it happen in the past? Is this happening currently, right now, in the present? Is it something that's foreshadowing what's going to happen? Like, it's multi-dimensional in its ambiguity, and that was just kind of frustrating. There's also a point early on where a character says that they're honest, that they do not lie, but then later in the film, they just straight up say, yeah, that's bullshit. I definitely lie, and I lied about that. I mean, that just kind of felt a little bit lazy to me. And lastly, and this is the thing that I was talking about, where I said I struggled for a while, but now I kind of view it as a positive. I really struggled with how much the film focuses on the romance side of things with these two characters. And without getting into any spoilers, let's just say that Taylor Russell and Timothée Chalamet share the same dark secret. They have the same inner demons. And I was most interested in seeing how Taylor's character really struggled and grappled with these inner demons, and where she was going to go in life with regards to them. And at times, I felt that the romance overshadowed the struggle that I really wanted to see. But then I started thinking, maybe that's the issue here with the actual characters. Maybe that's like part of this story, is that these characters have got inner demons they need to work on. They need to learn how to either overcome them or learn how to manage them. And instead, they're distracted by love. And I almost feel that the director is sitting there saying, yeah, I know. I'm frustrated too. I want to see these characters get better and work on themselves and get to a good place in their life where they can enjoy this love, but in a healthy way. And they're just not. They're not working on themselves. It's frustrating, isn't it? And once I started coming from that interpretation and from that perspective, all of a sudden I started to realize that the problem that I had with the film was actually the problem that these characters faced all along. And it was this really sweet and charming and happy, joyous romance romance that we were watching throughout the whole film that was actually guaranteeing inevitable tragedy for these characters. But at the end of the day, guys, I think that this is a great film. I think that the performances are fantastic, and I think there's a lot to chew on with this. I will say it's definitely not for the faint of heart, so just, prepare yourself before you go into this one. I definitely saw elements of the films Red, White, and Blue, the Snowtown Murders, Let the Right One In, and 2014's Animals in this film. So if that all sounds good to you guys, I definitely recommend you check this film out, and I'm going to give Bones and All an 8 out of 10. But that's just what I think. Take it or leave it. What do you guys think? Have you seen Bones and All yet? Have you read the novel? Are you excited about this film? Let me know down in the comments section. Let's talk about it. And as usual, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, I'm Chad from Take It or Leave It, and I'll check you later.
Check you later. Check you later.
Hey, man, get off my case.
Oh, man. Chicks don't want to hear that shit.